No matter which side of a real estate transaction you're on, buying or selling, all anyone needs is a little clarity. Exit TV. You don't have to like it, you just have to know it.
And we're back here at the Exit Live Studios, and we have a great friend with us. He's been here for a while, even back on location. Remember, he's always come and always has a great bit of information. We do have Tom Bonetto.
Bonetto, that's right.
Hey, I always get it right. And he is the lending coach. So, you know, and I brought him in today because we really wanted to talk about interest rates. You know, all the news out there is right now is about interest rates, or, oh, what does that mean to me? And, you know, me and Tom talked many times about a lot of things about interest rate, and this came up. I said, man, why don't you just come on down today?
Yeah.
And so let's start off by, like, what's an interest rate?
Sure. The interest rate is what borrowers pay for money.
Okay.
Strict, that's all it is. I mean, money's not free, right? If you want to get money, we're going to charge a percentage. Any lender is going to charge a percentage of that money
to get a return. Yeah,
that's exactly right.
It's a money game.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, with interest going up, is there a reason why it's going up, or?
No, it's a good question, actually. And I've been asked that a lot recently.
Yeah.
And what we're seeing in the marketplace actually is a bunch of good news. There are three main reasons why I think interest rates are going up.
Okay.
I think first of all, is that economic good news, right? We've seen real wages increase for the first time in about a dozen years.
I know, that's...
No, it's great stuff. And so that's putting more money in people's pocket.
Yeah.
And they're having a tendency to spend that, which is good news. Corporations also are making record profits, and they're passing that back. You'll see a lot of that, right, to their employees.
Yeah, we're seeing the bonuses,
that's
we're
right.
seeing things come out. So, and this is more money into the economy,
that's
right?
Right.
On a macro level.
That's exactly right. So we're seeing some good economic news. What happens then, though, that starts to put inflationary pressures on the economy.
Yeah.
In this case, it's relatively slight because we've had such limited inflation over this kind of long recessionary period.
10-year period.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so the Federal Reserve tried to spur economic growth by essentially making money very, very cheap.
Okay. Yeah.
Right? So in this case, we're now starting to see some inflationary pressures.
Okay.
And with inflation comes higher interest rates.
Of course, it costs more money.
There you go. So that's the first thing. Secondly, the Federal Reserve is undergoing a course called quantitative tightening. Now, that's kind of a technical term, but you might remember about 10 years ago, they started a program called quantitative easing. They wanted to push money into the economy, and they did that by buying mortgage-backed securities and treasury bonds.
Yes, the
right?
10-year notes. Yes.
They did that, right. So they did 10-year notes, that's exactly right. So what they've been doing now, starting in October of last year, they started to limit their repurchases. So their balance sheet of these mortgage-backed securities and bonds are getting smaller. So that's changing the supply and demand curve in the bond market. Right. So bond prices go down, so the demand is going down, and the yield goes up, and the interest rate follows that yield.
Okay. So, usually, a good gauge is like the 10-year note. Everybody knows, anyone that you read the 10-year note.
Right.
Where do you see that going? What does that affect my loan? I'm a realtor, so you're a mortgage guy.
Yeah.
So let's talk something we know. A guy comes and buys a house.
Right.
And he bought it 5-6 years ago when interest rates were really, really low.
Yes, sure.
Okay, and now he wants to refi. That's going to cost him more to get that loan refi, isn't it?
It is. And so what happened in September of last year, the 10-year Treasury was at about 2.3.
Yeah.
We're now seeing it at 2.8, 2.9. My guess is it's going to go to 3 here relatively soon. And that's probably anywhere from a half to a 3/4 point adjustment in interest rates.
That's a big move.
It is a big move. At the same time, it's not such a bad thing. And I'll tell you why. Property values are increasing at even a faster rate than those interest rates are rising. So there's money to be made. And that's really what's happening. Wealth is being created.
Yeah.
And the interest rate is just catching up.
It's just doing a matter of chugging along with the economy.
Absolutely.
It's a side effect.
Absolutely.
Now, where do we take it from here? Because everybody wants to get in, right? And get before it gets high.
Yes.
How would they do that? We all know how to go to lendingcoach.com, apply online.
Right.
Okay, so what's kind of the process you do? Okay, I applied online. What do I do?
So the next thing is I'm going to gather a bunch of financial data, right?
Okay.
Whether that be tax returns or W-2s and pay stubs, and I got to make sure that you're eligible to live in this country and buy a home. So I'm going to need a social security card and driver's license, that sort of stuff. And then I'm going to actually just do some analysis based on that. I'll pull credit, be able to test out your score, all of your liabilities, including the potential new house.
Yeah.
And then we'll see if we can qualify.
Because that's where people don't really realize. That means more risk in the market. That means less people are buying government-backed bonds, and they're buying more mortgage-backed securities.
Right.
And so your opportunity to probably grab a loan right now is probably one of the better times to grab one.
Totally. And what we've also seen is Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, the large government-sponsored enterprises that buy a fair amount of these mortgages on the open market.
Yeah.
They've allowed higher debt-to-income ratios.
Wow.
Last year it was at 45, now it's at 50. They've also done stuff with student loans, being able to discount how much is applied to your debt-to-income ratio. So really now is a fantastic time to buy. And you know what, James, what's interesting, the difference between the interest rate at 5 1/4 and 5 1/2 on a $200,000 loan, I'm not sure if it's $50.
Wow. You don't hear that. You just go, oh my gosh, that's
and by the way, the interest rate is a very big part of the transaction, but so is the term, right? So are you going to buy some points? You can bring that rate down by bringing a little bit more cash into the transaction.
No, I even heard
that can be done.
I even heard things about gifting now. People can gift funds. See, this is where the economy. This is so funny how it's really a show how the economy's moving because people are willing to take more risk.
Totally.
And so that's a big part of the reason why I think that it's going to go up still. But I still say I remember the days when there was 8-9% interest.
Oh, so I got to tell you my favorite story. Okay. I got married 25 years ago, and my wife and I bought a condo.
Okay.
And so this was in 1993, and we got a smoking interest rate of 9.5. We thought we were stealing something because it was one of the first times that anything was bought under 10, under double digits.
Yeah.
So, really, honestly, they've been so low for so long.
We've gotten used to it.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah.
The other thing is too, you got to remember what we're seeing in property valuations.
Okay.
We're seeing anywhere between 5 and 7% per year.
Year over year.
Year over year that you're seeing in growth. What's great about that rate, it's not a bubble type of rate. We're not creating some sort of artificial bubble.
Yeah.
Right? The supply is still relatively limited, so we're going to continue to see very sustainable growth rates in property. So let's say your interest rate is 1/4 or even 0.5% higher.
Okay.
You're still making so much money on that investment.
Yeah.
Right? It's completely worth a 0.5 point.
Oh yeah, because you're getting it year over year. You're getting 5.5. Say if you're paying 7%, you're gaining.
You're winning on the deal.
You're winning
completely
instead of losing. Well, we wanted to make sure we got our good friend, the lending coach, in here with us. We're gonna make sure we got things to do together as going forward.
Absolutely.
Like I said, he has a website. You have questions. I mean, I asked this man what to do. He's a great friend of mine, and I want to thank him for coming in. If you ever want to come in, come on the monthly thing or whatever you want to do, man, because you're more than welcome to come.
Well, what I would like to tell folks is that you can find me at lendingcoach.net. I'd highly recommend that you take a look at my blog. It's got a ton of different pieces of information, ranging from the interest rate piece that we talked about to what we can expect to see for first-time home buyers, some of the different loan programs that are out there. It's really an educational site, and I'd really encourage you to go there. And also, if you like baseball for any reason, I would go there just because you can see some great baseball content.
Thanks so much, Coach.
You got it, buddy.
Have a great day.
Thanks.
Thank you, everybody.